these car trends need to die already.
There has been quite some questionable car trends these past few years.
That is
honestly,
facts.
I think it's time for some of them to just die out. Like completely vanish from the planet. There are so many to go over on this list, so just grab some
I can
Chick-fil-A or
imagine.
something. Because I'm going to spend this whole video ranting about things that I don't like. Off rip, I want to start with the one that everybody with a functioning brain.
Okay, just by watching this video, and yes, I saw a bunch of challenges already, but Hellcat owners, they're not going to like this video too much. I just know, but honestly, we got to let him cook first, you know what I'm saying? We got to see what he's working with.
Should agree on, and that's takeovers. See, I'm not a Karen, but I've never seen the purpose of holding a whole intersection to spin in circles. Like, nobody has time for that at all. Maybe it would be slightly impressive if donuts took some sort of skill, but
Alright, now don't get me wrong. Yep, I get I'm pausing it already, but screw it. Honestly, I completely agree with this comment, and let me tell you why. Because I know personally, right, that when it comes to intersections, there's obviously going to be multiple people going through them, right? And I get that they want to take cool videos for like social media, and that's fine. But at the same time, you have to understand that not everybody is going to want to deal with trying to go from one place to another, and they have to deal with the fact that they cannot go through that intersection right away because somebody is drifting in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, like, if you want to sit there and drift, you got to go to like a legal pit or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, just go to somewhere where you're like out of everybody's way. And if you're doing that, then you're chilling. That's pretty much it. But yeah, that's facts though. Like, not every single person wants to deal with you drifting in the middle of an intersection. That is facts.
it's not. Anybody can slide in circles with a stolen car. Please make your way to an empty parking lot, because nobody has time for that and people are trying to get home from work. The individuals who attend these or participate in them lack common sense, to be honest. It's always someone crashing, someone getting absolutely sent flying through the crowd, or just people ready to shoot on sight. I don't know, man. I never understood takeovers, and I probably never will. I'm sure many of you are staring at your screen right now fuming, but honestly,
we do not care.
takeovers make no sense, and 9 out of 10 times they always escalate into something even crazier. Someone let me know though, maybe I'm just missing something, maybe there's an appeal to it and the people who go to takeovers go for a reason, but I highly doubt it. Just
Now you're speaking facts,
okay,
bro.
unlike takeovers, this next one is actually controversial, but me personally, I've never seen the hype in murdering out your car, especially on regular traffic. Okay, black cars are cool, don't get me wrong, but when you go the extra mile of blacking out your tail lights, blacking out your badges, and just all that, I feel like it just gets tacky and it's too much. I personally think it's basic, but I mean, unless you have a nice car that can actually fit the mysterious and stealthy role, then that's cool. But when I see Priuses and Civics murdered out, then it just becomes cringe. It is an ongoing trend at the moment, because everybody wants to be Batman, but in reality, they're not. I feel like there should be a certain price that your car has to be before you can go about murdering it out. And it should have a certain drag coefficient, because you can't just have a murdered out box. At least have a car that looks the part, you know? I'm sure this next one is gonna have a lot of people screaming at their screens, but I personally think that Burble tunes sound terrible, especially when they are excessive. I said this in my video about bad mods, and I'm gonna double down. Pops are cool, backfires are cool, but Burble tunes sound like farts, and you don't want your car to sound like farts.
There's so many people that do that too. And I mean so
Why would
many
you ever
people.
want your car to sound like that? I don't know. And I think this is typically a trend between the people who drive German cars, the BMW, the Mercedes, and the Audi guys. You know what I'm talking about. You barely ever see an American, Italian, or JDM sound like that because the owners of these cars have ears and they can tell that a Burble tune is not it. See, I'm not even trying to make this video to shit on anyone. If you genuinely like these mods with all your heart, you're cooked. Nah, I'm playing. If you like your car, leave it be. Don't let my opinion change that, as long as you're happy. And also subscribe if you're new. The next trend is when Mopar
Subscribe to my
owners
channel
leave
also.
that little banana splitter on their cars. These guards are put on to protect the car while it's being transported.
Honestly, whenever it comes to this, I feel like a lot of people can get away with this as long as the color is kind of like, you know, as long as the color correlates with like this part right here. As long as you do that, then honestly, it doesn't really bother me too much. But sometimes people have like, I don't even know. This is just me personally. But I feel like sometimes like their Charger or Challenger will be a certain color and it just doesn't really correlate with like the bumper or whatever. I don't know. That's how I see it personally, but let me know. Maybe I'm just crazy. But yeah, nah. Let's see what he has to say though.
But somehow, some way, Mopar owners think it's an aesthetic thing. This reminds me of when people get like the jeans and like the jackets and they leave the tags on to show everybody that they bought them. Like, No, these guys rock it like it's a badge of honor. Look guys, I got my car brand new. Well, nice. The guard looks goofy. It's crazy because I'll say about at least 1 in 4 Mopars that I see every single day have these splitter guards on. And 1 in 4 is a very large percentage if you don't know. It's like all of them are just an agreement that they must stay on after purchase. I feel like maybe a few of them think it's to make the car look better because it does come like that from the factory. So maybe they think it's a design, maybe. But in my opinion, this is just another trend that needs to be eradicated as soon as possible. Moving on, I think the term respect all builds is an actual joke. Some builds are just not possible to be respected. Example, who in their right mind can respect an abomination like a squatted truck? It makes no sense to me. I kind of understand why people make a case for that term because it sort of does reduce bullying. And if something makes you happy, I feel like it should be respected. But come on, like literally what is this? Hey, you see, I'm a nice but honest person. When I say the term respect all builds needs to stop, I don't mean bring back bullying. I just mean we should be honest about what's actually good and what's just plain garbage. It's okay to have different tastes, but some mods are just impractical or even outright dangerous. And if you get your feelings hurt by someone telling you that your build is garbage, you're doing it all wrong, my friend. If it makes you happy, just ignore them and keep doing you. At the end of the day, it's your property and not theirs. Okay, this next one has to do with the current stigma in the car community. And that's how the media has brainwashed everybody's perception on power and speed. These days, you can't open a social media post without seeing a 2000 horsepower GTR absolutely shitting on boosted bikes. As you think, when that's all you see on social media, it becomes a misconception that cars need that much power to be fast. The topic of speed has always been a tricky one because the word fast is extremely subjective. A Kia Stinger might not be fast to someone who owns a Mustang GT, but it's surely gonna be fast for someone who dailies a Toyota Corolla. What I don't like is when these kids, and I call them kids because most of them don't even own a car, but when these kids think that a car that has less than 700 horsepower must be slow. To be honest,
Yep, honestly, that's like another that's another thing I've been seeing a lot of myself, if I'm being honest. Like, a lot of people consider everything, like he said, less than 700 horsepower to be like just like extremely slow. I'm talking about they could end up driving a car, or they could be talking about a car rather that has like around, it could be like 500 horsepower around that, which honestly that is still pretty fast, but for some reason they straight up call it like slow. Like they don't say, well, it's somewhat fast. They just straight up say, no, it's slow, which that doesn't make any sense. And that's the one thing about like these guys, they don't really know too much about cars or anything like that, so of course they're gonna call it slow. But honestly, that's another valid point though. Don't know why they're doing it, but it is what it is. That's just generation. Apparently any car that's not a Hellcat is slow. It's not just that. If you don't have a Hellcat, guys, your car is automatically slow. Just saying.
I think with the right weight, anything over 250 horsepower isn't slow. I currently have a Honda Accord 2.0T. It gets from 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds, and that's plenty speed for daily driving. I don't need a 0 to 60 of 2 seconds to merge on the freeway. Sure, it'll be much more fun, but that doesn't mean everything under that is slow. I made a poll a few months ago about how much horsepower is considered fast, and it's great to see that at least some of you guys have common sense. So now I want to ask this to you guys. What is a 0 to 60 time that you consider quick? Let me know in the comments. Okay, next we have wide bodies, and not just any wide body. I'm talking about the ones that are cheaply made. Okay, wide bodies are a touchy subject because I personally think certain cars can look good wide bodied, but recently it has become a trend for everybody to wide body everything. To be honest, I'm not even sure if it's a recent thing, but I have been seeing more and more wide bodied shit boxes a lot lately. When you see many clean wide body builds, a lot of people are gonna try to replicate that, but not a lot of people have money, so they'll try to take the easy way out. They just get something extremely cheap off Facebook Marketplace, slap them on their car, and call it a day.
Now, honestly, in the area that I'm in, I've never seen somebody doing some crap like this before. I've never seen that myself, but if you have, let me know. But honestly, yeah, no. Like, if you want to wide body a car, you've got to put the money down. There's no way that you could. Like, I'm trying to figure out why he thinks this would. You know what? I'm not even gonna talk about it too much. But yeah, guys, honestly, whenever it comes to like your car and like you wanting your car to look as nice as possible, just know that you're gonna have to put down a good amount of money to get the job done, compared to, you know, getting something that's like cheaply made, for example. Just know.
Don't even bother to paint match it, get bigger wheels, or make sure that the fitment is right. It's just all bad. When you're getting a mod for your car, especially something that would change the whole look of your car, such as wide bodies, you should never cheap out, because that's going to be the most important thing and what people notice the first time they see your car. If it's a cheaped out front splitter or a rear wing, it's not going to be that noticeable, but for wide body, that's the first thing everybody sees. You don't want your first impressions to be bad on your car. Me personally, I don't ever see myself wide bodying any of my future cars, because they are not personally my style. But again, if they are done right and professionally, they can have huge potential. Wide bodies are a hit or miss. They're either extremely good looking or just terrible. There's never any in between. So do yourself a favor and spend a couple extra to make sure your kit fits well. The next trend is running slicks on stock cars. This one is most popular when you go deeper into the community. It's for the people who have decently fast cars. Not really that fast, but it's still kind of fast, you know? If your car doesn't actually light the tires up when you do a pull, you don't need slicks. People just put them on for aesthetic reasons, and I don't know why. Call me crazy, but I think this is literally the same as up badging your car. Most of the time, the owners are just trying to make their car appear faster than it really is. Again, I'm saying that if you don't need it, don't get it. I'm not saying that slicks are a bad mod or anything. Oh yeah, this is completely unrelated, but most of you guys were asking why I took such a long break, and that's because I went on a short vacation. Yeah, I needed that break to be honest, but I'm back now. If you do want to check out the vlog for the vacation, there should be a pinned comment which should take you straight to my Patreon. It's all on there. If you haven't noticed already, I like being controversial because nobody else does. This next mod is terrible exhaust, and I don't care, but I'm about to take a couple shots at some of you. Loud doesn't always mean good. There, I said it. Straight piping your VQ in hopes of making it sound better will never be a good idea. See, there's a rule I like to go by. It's called the horsepower to loudness ratio. You probably already see where this is going, but let me explain further. Our two representatives are going to be the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, and the next car being a straight piped Infiniti G35.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The SVJ sounds so beautiful. That car sounds so good, dude. I'm telling you. Now, I would love to drive that car one day because that thing sounds absolutely amazing, bro. Oh my gosh.
In person, these cars might sound just as loud, but for one, the SVJ just sounds so much better, and two, the loudness of the SVJ is acceptable because it actually goes somewhere. No one thinks loud sounds are cool, especially when it's on a car that's going 32 miles an hour. If you want your car to sound good, don't just straight pipe it and opt out for loud. Sacrifice some extra time and money and get an actual good exhaust so you don't look like a clown going 26 miles per hour while sounding like a fighter jet. Do better. As much as I dislike bad exhaust, I still think they're better than the wannabe swim team people. Okay, this trend is silly to me because it's literally pointless. I'm sure I sound like a Karen, but what is the purpose of intentionally
risking we all know about this.
Others? I'm sure that the adrenaline is insane, but I promise you,
we
taking
all
your car
know
to
about
a track
this
is way more crazy. Like the adrenaline you're gonna feel from that is not gonna be comparable to what you do swimming. And plus, taking to a track is so much safer. But again, tracks aren't that accessible, so you probably don't even have one where you're from. But still, don't risk other people's lives. If you want to drive crazy, wait till nighttime when there's nobody on the street. And don't take a passenger with you, because that's just inconsiderate. I used to be guilty of this 100%, but then I realized it's not worth it. The little adrenaline boost that you get after a tight cut isn't worth the potential risks, I promise you. And my problem is that these actions are literally glorified now because of guys like Squeeze Benz, Where's 981, and the Stolen Z06. Because of them, it's a trend now. The people who have absolutely zero skill will think they could get behind of their Camry and replicate what these guys do. One, you look silly trying to cut up in a Camry, and two, stop before you hurt yourself. Take it to the track or an empty back road. It's equally or even more fun than doing that, and plus it's much safer. Hey, you guys be safe out there. It would be a shame if you took out a family of 5 just because you thought 3 seconds of adrenaline would make your life much better. If you've made it this far, I just want to remind you guys that I am on the road to 50,000 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button for me and also like the video. We're closing in on the final 3 trends, and I think this one is extremely specific, but I think the trend with Tesla owners using a chameleon wrap is ugly to me. When it comes to wraps, I'm extremely lenient. I think wraps are a perfect way to express yourself and show your creativity with your car, and it's a way of not doing too much. Chameleon wraps though look terrible, especially due to the fact that I only see it on Tesla Model Y. Maybe if it was done with nicer looking cars, it probably wouldn't have made its way on this list, but I'm tired of seeing them. That's just me though. If you have a chameleon wrap, it probably looks good, so don't take me seriously. Moving on to an extremely frustrating one, and that's bringing regular traffic to a car meet. Hey, at the moment I also drive regular traffic, so I'm not bashing your car. I just think I speak for everyone when I say no one wants to see your stock CRV lined up in the car meet. Well, actually, now that I think about it, if you take pride in your car and you want to show it off to the world, go ahead. Who cares what other people think? Whoa, I just had a whole awakening mid-video. Me personally, I would never be going to any car meets with my Honda, that's for sure. I do find it kind of frustrating driving to a far car meet just to be met with straight regular traffic. I think anyone will find it kind of annoying driving a long distance to a car meet expecting to see the craziest cars, and then you're gonna pull up to a Kia Forte and a Mazda CX-5 having a rev battle. That alone could even scare the people away, because when you pull up to a car meet to see an abomination lined up, your first thought is gonna be, well, okay, this is ass, so you're not gonna stay. I personally think that you shouldn't line up a stock regular traffic car, but if you want to, go ahead. The final trend on this list is just BMW kids. I feel like I possibly could have ended this video without talking about the new age super kids themselves. If you've been on any sort of social media within the past few months, you would know I'm speaking facts. BMW kids have invaded social media like some sort of virus. It's crazy because it happened so quick, and it's just like, damn. And if you still don't know what I'm talking about, here, do this. Go on your TikTok and just...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, honestly, like, I don't care too much about that. They're just pretty much just showing off a BMW. I mean, it is what it is, really. I mean, it's whatever, but yeah, honestly, I do see a lot of people, you know, flexing their BMWs. I've seen a lot of videos and posts about it recently, but I mean, it is what it is.
search up BMW M5 edit. After that, open the comments and you see exactly what I mean. I think that's all I have to say about them though. This one I don't really care much about because it will eventually pass. I just hope it won't last as long as the Super did, because I do plan on getting some sort of BMW in the future. Anyways, that has been 13 trends that...
But yep, with that being said, let me know what you guys think.